there's a lot of support though, Ed, for Daniel Abt on Twitter and on social media. There's a lot of people who are saying, you got DaCosta and Collado and potentially more who maybe just not said it on Twitter, who said, we're not streaming anymore. We're not going to put ourselves at risk of losing our seat. And, I that's not a good sign straight away for the Race at Home Challenge, because obviously they wanted everyone to be on Twitch, all the drivers on Twitch. You've got people like Alexander Sims who probably didn't even know what Twitch was a couple of weeks ago on Twitch. And, for me, obviously them not streaming isn't going to get App seat back. I think if they really wanted to make a statement that, drivers shouldn't be losing seats for practical jokes, in this, they maybe shouldn't turn up on Saturday, and that would obviously cause Formula E some problems. But I don't think that would happen. But I find it interesting that there is a lot of support out there for him, and drivers are basically stopping Twitch streaming, saying, "Well, we're not just going to do this anymore. You want us to do this, but we ain't going to do it anymore."
Yeah, it's a little bit of a crazy situation because Formula E just gave out the 10,000, or was it 9,000 and a little bit euro fine.
10,000.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was 10,000 that he gave to charity of his choice, which you mentioned in the video, which is a charity he'd worked with before for disabled people. And Formula E sort of left it at that. Okay, you paid the fine, we've disqualified you from the race and taken away your points, and we've also banned Lorenz. And they were happy to leave it at that. And then Audi were the ones who decided, because this has turned into such a big story. And also, I think this is worth pointing out that the big thing about Volkswagen Audi Group is Dieselgate, that there was a story that's come back out in the media recently where they lost a court case related to Dieselgate. So this is a time, I don't think that's the reason directly, but I think it's definitely a time where Volkswagen Audi Group are sort of, they don't really need another bad story right now. And the timing of this really for Abt could not really come at a worse time, to be honest, in terms of what's happening to Audi at the moment. And so, yeah, the reaction from the drivers of just saying they won't do streaming anymore. I think there's a couple of different ways you could take it, but I thought it was just a sort of, if we're taking this seriously now, then I'm going to turn off the stream and keep the fans out, basically, because I'll just do this just as a job, even though I don't want to do it, basically, is the sort of admission there, and not necessarily, I don't want to get caught like Abt did, because I don't think they were cheating in the first place. It was only Abt who was doing it, although I can't prove that.
I think they're worried. I honestly think, Jack, that they're just worried. They're worried that they will say something on their stream that they shouldn't have said, by accident, and they could end up losing their seat. And I think, well, maybe they're now evaluating their own risk and reward by streaming and thinking, if I say this through the fit, like, I'm going to go back to the Bubba Wallace thing in NASCAR, rage quit. I can't remember what he did, but the story of that was that he rage quit and he lost his sponsors for his NASCAR team just by rage quitting.
He lost a sponsor. It wasn't like all of his sponsors. It was only one. But he kept racing after. It wasn't a big deal.
Of course, he hasn't lost his. He wouldn't have lost his racing seat from that. From obviously, if he actually lost his racing seat from rage quitting, I think that would spark something more massive than what we are seeing here in the Formula with Daniel Abt. But my point is, though, that if they do say something that might potentially lose them a sponsor or lose them a race seat, then they're like, what, I'm not going to do this anymore, and you can understand that.
Yeah, no, it makes perfect sense for them to do that. I think it's not just that. We've seen the NASCAR driver. I keep on forgetting his name. NASCAR driver Kyle Larson, who dropped the N-bomb on Twitch. So yeah, no, it at the end of the day, it does make sense for them to do that. But yeah, no, it is disappointing because the Twitch viewers were higher than the actual Formula E streams. For Formula E, that's like pluses and minuses. I think the plus is now that they're going to get more people on the YouTube stream. The minus is that they still would probably get more if they had different streams up on Twitch. But yeah, no. At the end of the day, I think this will detract from it. Detract from the whole Race at Home challenge if everything hasn't been detracted already. But yeah, no. It's disappointing because having these guys like talk us through the race and stuff it's fun to watch. It's pretty cool, and then yeah, no, it's and so yeah, it is disappointing that we won't have that anymore. But yeah, no, well, there's not really much that can be done about it.